Dr. Christy Ennis. Today we've got both mobility and strength to help you feel better and hopefully improve that game of golf of yours also. But don't forget, if you do not want to keep score and somebody asks, how do you measure yourself with other golfers? Just answer by height. All right, we are going to start on our hands and knees to get some mobility and loosen up that spine a little bit, those shoulders. If you feel comfortable, you can even get down right on the golf course and do these, although I don't think a lot of people want to do that. So do these at home if you need to. But we're going to start here, like I said, hands and knees. You're going to rotate that arm up, let that head follow, and drop that shoulder. You can bend that opposite elbow a little bit. We're going to get 3 of these on each side. And it's important to get both sides because a lot of times with golf, right, you're only rotating in one direction, which is not great for the body. Maybe great for the game, not for the body. And then other side, same idea. So lifting, reaching, rotating, slide that under. And again, just moving nice and slow and breathing with it. Not holding these because it's mobility, right? You might already be starting to feel better. Okay, I'm going to sit back onto my heels. From here, I'm going to reach those hands out a little bit, and then I'm going to bring them right over to that right side and shift my butt so it's a little bit off that left. Now we're stretching right up into those lats and that low back. And then I'm going to angle on over to the other side. Right hand on top, butt off to that right side. And I'm just going to alternate here. So trying to breathe in the middle and exhale as you get to the side. So in and out. And we're going to do one more on each side. And of course, always keep in mind, these should always feel good. Make sure they're not causing pain, so only go to your body's limit. Coming back up into that hands and knees position, I'm going to take a nice breath in. And as I do that, I'm going to squeeze those shoulder blades together, arch that spine and lift that head, and then exhale the opposite. Push that mat away around those shoulders, tuck that chin, and then repeat that 2 more times. You might get a little snap, crack, pop here. And I know I did. Last one here. Even just that makes me feel good. All right, from here, we're actually going to go into a kneeling position. So, or a low lunge, we'll call this one. You're going to bring that foot forward. You can play around and see, is it more comfortable to have that knee a little bit more forward, or do you just need it directly in a straight line? I'm going to take my opposite arm towards the inside and add a little rotation, getting those hip flexors and that spine. And then other hand goes down and I'm switching. So just alternating here back and forth. Again, we're going to shoot for that 3 repetitions. And this, of course, like I said, is good for golf, but it's definitely good for just everyday life too. So you don't have to be a golfer to do these. And then, of course, switching, got to be equal here, both sides. So again, I'm going to take this arm and put it down, rotate up, and then switch. And please feel free, if you want to pause a little bit longer in there, you can. And you may notice that one side feels a heck of a lot better than the other, and that might be because of all the rotation that you're doing when you're playing. So, as much as you don't want to, really focus on the sides that don't feel as loose or as good. Okay, from here, I'm going to switch back to my other leg. I'm going to starting to work on that core a little. If you need to, you can put a pillow underneath your knee to make sure that you're stacked evenly. You're also going to take that front leg and put it as much in a straight line with that back knee as you can. Now, if you do and you get in that position and you're doing this, it's okay to bring that foot out to the side a little. We want to challenge that core, but not cause any accidents or injuries and stay upright. So use your best judgment on that. Toes up in the back. And then I'm going to bring my hands out front and I'm rotating. So a little mobility and a little bit of strength here too. And if you do this and it starts to feel a little easier, you can try to slide that front foot forward again. Really think about squeeze those glutes, squeeze those abs. Helps a little bit. We're going to go one more on each side here. open. You can let that head follow too if it feels good. And then I'm gonna switch. Again, one side probably will be easier than the other. For me, it must be the other one. And I'm gonna go here, open, and back, and I do need to move my foot a little, or I'm gonna really compensate in ways that I don't want to. So keep that in mind for you guys too. Open, and if that arm doesn't go all the way back, that's okay too. If it only goes here, stop there. One more each direction. And open. One more in that hands and knees position to get some of those smaller back stability muscles. We're gonna do the bird dog, one of my favorites. So it's opposite arm and leg, making sure that you're engaging in those lower abs and those glutes, stacking those shoulders over those hands and wrists, and then you're extending one arm in the opposite leg, nice and controlled, back to the ground, and then switching. Now with this one, we're gonna do 5 on each side. If it is too much to do, you just start with just the leg. Okay? You wanna make sure that you keep that back nice and flat. That's important. And not rotating or arching. That didn't even feel good to me. Okay, one more on each side here. Whew, hopefully starting to build up a little bit of a sweat here. We're gonna go into a push-up position or a plank position. From here, again, kind of trying to stack those shoulders over those wrists, we're gonna rotate it. This is a tough one, right? So you can leave this leg right in front, try not to drop those hips down, and then with control, come right back to the middle. Don't let, whoop, momentum swing you over. And then switching off to that other side. Now, if this is just too much, go ahead and drop right down to those knees, and same idea. Rotate open, bottom leg stays bent, top one is straight, and then the other way. We're just gonna get 3 of these on each side, but again, feel free at home if you wanna do a few more, you certainly can. You wanna make it even a little more challenging, add that push-up in there too. My mat is squeaky. Good, I'm gonna do 1 more on each side. Again, remember, pause, nice and control there. It really is squeaky. Okay, coming down into a side plank. Now, you do need a weight and a band if you got one. I'm gonna slide this up above my knees and get everything nice and lined up first so that when I am looking down, you want everything in a straight line, right? So nothing too far forward. Sometimes you have to go all the way down to make sure that you can just see those toes and a little bit of those feet. And then you're pushing up onto that. This is a loose band. Pushing up onto that forearm. This is a side plank movement with a couple different things added in. Again, another one of my favorites. We're gonna rotate both the arm and the leg up. So it's push up into that side plank and lift. There's 1. 2, make sure that you don't rotate backwards, okay? 3, 4, I'm gonna do 10 on each side. 5, 6, 7, 8, squeeze into that shoulder blade 2, 9, and 10, and switching sides, and then we're gonna stand up. So same idea, making sure that you're in a nice line, hips aren't too far forward, squeeze into that shoulder blade, lift it up, keep that elbow glued to that side, and then knee and forearm just raise. You're keeping those feet together. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more. I'm breathing harder now. 9 and 10. All right, for the standing exercises, you do need a band and just 1 weight and a step, a stool, or a stack of phone books if you can still find them. So let's get started. Foot's gonna go right up on that step. Bunny hop a little bit to make sure that front foot is far enough forward. So we're gonna drop it down into a lunge and then add a rotation over that front leg to really engage into those glutes. I'm gonna come forward a little bit more. I'm actually gonna just shift my hip even a little bit back there. You wanna feel this somewhat in the quads, but really in those glutes there. So 10 repetitions on this side. That's 3, 4, 5, and of course you could do this without weight. 6, a little balancy on this one. 7, I made up a new word. 8, 9, and one more is 10. 10, and I'm gonna switch legs. Same idea, toes up in the back if you can. You of course can do these in shoes also if it's more comfortable for you. All right, so I'm coming down, and this leg's a little tighter, so it's limiting me a little bit there. And then adding that rotation and up. So you are stretching your hip flexors at that same time. 2, 3, 4. Really aim for using that torso, not your arms, to pull you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more is 10. Awesome. For our next exercise, we still need that step or that stack of books, whatever you got, and your weight. We're gonna go up on that step sideways this time and add a chop and a did you get that? Chop and a little rotation. So step it on up. This knee's gonna come up, and I'm using, again, my torso to lead that motion. You don't have to pause as slowly as me. And we're gonna do 10 on each side. So it's squeeze into those abs 2 at the same time, using the outer hip on that right leg. There's 3, 4. You, of course, can control how high you make this, unless you only have a certain number of phone books. 6, 7. So I'm coming from the side and across here. 8. It doesn't have to be real high. 9 and 10. And I'm going to switch, do the other side. Same idea. Come on up and add that little rotation as that knee comes up. Do a little can move. No, just kidding. You can if you really want to. That's 3. Stretch the hamstrings too. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. For this one, again, one weight, opposite leg that you're going to be standing on. We're gonna hinge into that hip or that single leg deadlift and then add a row. So standing on that right leg, little bend in that right knee, and I'm gonna shift those hips back, keeping this back toe pointed down, and then adding that row as I squeeze into those shoulder blades. Now, clearly, if you need to hang on to something, by all means, please do so. Just make sure it's something sturdy. There we go. And again, 10 on each side here. That's 3. Try to row back, not up. 4, 5, and also try not to do what I just did by letting that knee wobble in. That sometimes means that you need to hang on. 6, 7, so working lats and glutes and hamstrings. 8, and even calves. 9, and whoopsies, one more is 10. And switching sides. I'm going to stay facing the same way. So hinging again through that left hip, right leg going along for the ride. Add that row, stand it on up, even add a little squeeze there. There's 2, 3, 4. You can always bring those back toes down if you need to also to give yourself a little bit more balance. That's 5. 6, doing what I'm doing by finding a steady spot in front of you. 2, 7, 8, 9, and one more, 10. Thank you so much for tuning in today, you guys. If you want to get rid of pain anywhere in your body on your own with just one little portable device, don't forget to check out the Derma Edge. I created this while I was going through Lyme disease to help get rid of my pain on my own, nice and gently. It's patented and made in the US, actually right down the road in Laconia from where my office is. So don't forget, you can click the link here or in the description to order your own.